Here's the part 2 of the video for our castle. So I wanted to show you some of the extras. I started the chain for the drawbridge. If you wanted to have the towers rounded, what you could do is round out the corners, and then you would get rid of that corner line here. Same thing here, we're going to round that out and get rid of the corner line here. Okay, and then if you wanted to show what those were made out of by giving it a texture, you want to keep in mind anything that is at the horizon line level is going to be straight. If it is below the horizon line level, then it's going to start to bow kind of like a bowl. So if you notice, like here, it's kind of curved, and then as it gets up taller, it's going to flatten out. Now there is a much more accurate way of doing this that we're not gonna use it today. We're just getting the idea of how this works right now. Okay, so we've got straight line here. Below it would be curved. It also, because it's farther away, it would be closer together, a little bit smaller. And then above it starts to curve more like a frown. So if it's above, it's going to frown. If it's below the horizon line, you're going to have more of a smile line. Okay. If you wanted to draw something like flags, which I believe it did say have flags on there. Let's say that I wanted to have a flag posted. I'm going to put a little narrow top here. Maybe I'll put a flag here. To do a flag that's like waving in the wind, you're going to make a line that's coming out and back in, kind of like a little S. Draw a line coming down from that curve, and then just above it, it's going to come back up. Okay, so let me grab a sheet of Post-it note paper, and I'm going to actually zoom in and do this much closer. Okay. Whoop. Here, hold on. Okay, so let's do this closer so you can see it better. Curve line like that. You could do more curves if you wanted. I'm just doing a simple pennant. Make lines that are coming down with the curves, and then it's going to come back up here. This one comes here, and then we need to get that back side of the flag in. You see how it's kind of a curling flag. So I know in the assignment it said that we should have flags, like as in plural flags. But before I do that, I want to put in a crenellated top. And a crenellated top is when you have that castle line top. So I'm going to make a line that's going to go above the castle here, like so. And then I'm going to be putting in straight lines going across. By the way, while I'm putting these in, there was actually a great defense mechanism with these crenellated tops. The archers would stand behind these and pop out in the spaces between them to be able to shoot their arrows at oncoming enemies. All right, so now I'm going to erase. Let me use my other eraser. Erase every other one. So line, space, line, space, line, space. And then you would erase the bottoms in between as well to try to get these going. Hi.
Hey, I just needed to look at your emergency signs. Those are.
Okay. I'm getting checked out for our emergency signs in case we got any of those things happening. Okay, so now you can see I've got that cast line over, up, over, down, over, up, over, down, going in here, okay? But as nice as that looks, it looks flat. So guess what? We got to use that other vanishing point again. So that space that's in between here, we got to show where that goes back to the right side vanishing point. Now, all of a sudden, when I start putting in those, do you see how just that little line there going back to that vanishing point over here, doing this up so you can see where the vanishing point is. I apologize. Going back to that vanishing point over there, right here, okay, that is making all the difference in the world. And you want it, like I said, you want to make sure you use that vanishing point, because if you think, it's not that important, it's going to look weird. People are going to say, there's something not right about that, but I can't put my finger on it. And it would be that you didn't use the vanishing point. And the lady that it would drive crazy is me. So anyway, all right. So now I have the crenellated top. I got a flag. Let's put in some more flags. Maybe we'll put in a flagpole here. Put in, two. Oh, that's a bigger flag, huh? We could put in another one here. It's going to be taller. Triangle, make this a little higher like that. Okay. Flags, windows, towers, door, drawbridge. If you wanted to make a moat, what you could do is make a wavy line here. This has the same idea as the flags, in that where you see the curve lines, actually this would just curve around. You wouldn't see that other thing there. Where the curves are, bring the lines down, and then close them off, and then you could put like little water in here. And you could have a background of ground here where the water line ends. That's fine. So now we have cliffs. You could put a dragon that's flying in. You could have, maybe you want to put in, since you've already got the guidelines here, sort of, maybe we would put in windows here too. You could do that. It's your castle. Actually, you know what? We'd have the windows up taller. Don't put the windows in too low, because then you could have people that would climb up into the window, and you don't want them up there. Get out of my window. Okay, and you could also have windows over to the sides here. Just make sure, again, you're going back to that vanishing point. All right, so what I'm going to do is go ahead and pause this so that I can finish inking this, and then that way you can see what we can do for your castles. All right, so I've inked in most of the drawing here, but I wanted to pause it and show you how it's really missing a lot of texture, because that is also one of the things that we needed to do, is put in texture. So you should be able to access the texture sheets on the website, but maybe you'd want to think about, if we did this in stone for the wall or the tower here, I would just be drawing irregular ovals that are kind of stacked and pieced in together, and that could make the stone. And where it's going back in space, they'd be a little bit smaller. Okay, but you would start to put in some stone there. If you wanted to show grass, use the element of line. You go ahead and make some like jagged lines that will give the illusion of a grass texture. For water, you're going to have more of a fluid. Maybe there's like a little fish that are in here, or I don't know what you got swimming in there. Um, Rocks, you could put in dots to make it kind of like pebbles. As it's closer, like up here, since it's closer to the corner, maybe you make them more descript and have them more like shapes than dots. I do have some mountains back here. If you wanted to do something like brick is where you're going to be using the vanishing point to put in lines. You may want to mark them off at an even tick along the corner here of the line that's closest on that building. And then you're going to match them up to the wall's same side vanishing point. Have those going back. Okay, so I just started to do some of those lines. Then you would put in vertical lines that would be staggered. So the middle of this brick, I'd put in the next one. And that's so that it has structural integrity. So that way the building won't collapse. People in the different houses in Chicago should pay attention. They've had lots of structural collapses, which have not been good. Okay, so you can start to see the brick in there. Okay, so I think I've got most of it inked, and as I'm looking at it on the screen, I can see where some of my vertical lines are a little wonky going. Okay, so sometimes this stuff doesn't show up until you start darkening things, or at least I didn't notice it till then, but that's all right. So then the next step would be to start putting in color. And for the color, if you picked up your art kits and you've got those paint sets in there and you're just dying to use the paint sets and you like, oh, Mrs. K, can I paint it? Yeah, if you want to paint it, that's fine. You can use those paints to paint this. If you'd rather use colored pencils, you can use colored pencils. If you did not get your art kit and all you have around you is crayons, that's fine. If you would just want to do a value study with pencil, that's okay too, with regular pencil. So I just wanted you to know this right here is not done. It needs something. It needs more color. It needs color. It doesn't have any right now. So I'm going to be working on this for a little bit, and then maybe I'll post a picture when it's all the way done, because I don't think you need to see a whole video of that. So, all right. One other advice I would give when you're doing the color, if you are doing color with paints or whatever, anything that's in the background is going to be a little more hazy, meaning that you would have it lighter and a little more faded in the background. Anything that's closer to you, like this tower, the castle, everything that's up here, that's going to have more brilliant color, more full color, because that's what's close, okay? Hazy makes things go far away. Bright and brilliant makes things up close. Yeah, so hopefully you guys had fun. If you want to throw in goblins, dragons, whatever else you want to do, or if you want to do the non-traditional castle too, that's okay. All right, and as I was saying that, I decided I should pull out, this is my non-traditional castle example, where we had the Nike shoebox, packs of gum, had the flags. I think I'm missing a couple of windows in here, but overall, that's one non-traditional, and then I have a student non-traditional here. This is Zach's Snoopy Doghouse Castle, okay? So it does not need to be a traditional one like this, or this is another student example. Okay? All right. Happy arting.